What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another War Thunder video. Today we're taking out the Jagdpanzer 38T, otherwise known as the Hetzer, some RB tanks. And this is one of the more peculiar looking vehicles in my opinion in the game. It looks like something straight out of a Mad Max movie. I really like it, at least the look of it. The design of it, it's interesting. The armor is not very good. It's well angled. The side armor is terrible. It's not a tank that I would normally be taking out because of its... Well, it's not very versatile to me. It's very small, it's compact, it's got an excellent gun, but because it doesn't have a traditional turret, it's not a vehicle that would make me want to take it up very often. Before we get too much further into the battle, I do want to address the fact that yes, the video does look different than it normally would. I have not given up on ultrawide, but I'm testing a more traditional 16:9 aspect ratio 4K setting. I think it looks good, but I know I tend to prefer the ultrawide myself because I love the ultrawide. I love the panorama the ultrawide provides. You know, you see more stuff on the left and right of the screen. It's a little bit shorter vertically, but I still prefer the ultrawide. And this is just a test. Let me know in the comments section if you like this over the ultrawide or if you prefer the other way around. I know some of you who have a 16:9 monitor would prefer this because it gets rid of the black bars that you would normally get if you use full screen. Now we're on Kuban, not a map I like on this tank, and the reason is this, again, because it doesn't have a traditional turret. I can't hold down and snipe like I would, say, if I was in a Tiger or a Panther. The Hetzer, in order to kill something, you pretty much have to expose the entirety of your tank, therefore putting yourself in harm's way. Now, generally speaking, on this left side, there's this little road here that leads right from the spawn, and so I figured a few tanks would come this way. But as I crest the hill, I'm really not able to find anything. I hear gunshots in the area, but Kuban has a lot of AI tanks, unfortunately, so it's very easy for players to engage those, get some easy kills, get some easy spawn points. It's not entirely clear how many actual players are over here. Kuban is very hilly terrain, and wow. Now there's somebody over here. There's a Sherman. A Soviet Sherman. You didn't see too many of those. But yeah, getting back to Kuban as a map, I kind of like this map, but it's challenging to play for me because of the amount of hills, the amount of ridges that you have to scan as you move your way around the map. Now we are playing against the Russians, and generally the Russians don't have very many tanks that can hold down like a Panther can. For example, Soviet tanks tend to have to expose themselves, not unlike my tank actually, the Hetzer. So after waiting around trying to find something, I decided to push out, and what do we have here? We have a little potato truck. Get in! Pow! Got his engine, so he won't be going anywhere, but got a friendly here in the area. He helps clean him up. Looks like an ally is calling up for help up here. He's pinging the map, and that's in the area where I suspect the Sherman was. If you remember a minute ago, there was a Soviet Sherman that killed the M18 that was on that ridge next to me. So I decided to head in that direction and see what I can find. I have to be careful though, because the spawn is just over here to the right, and so anything coming in could easily get a side shot on me. And the Hetzer's armor is very thin. So you see me very, very cautiously approach. And what have we here? The Sherman. And he doesn't see me. And he doesn't see me. Okay, maybe he sees me now. He's angling himself, and pow. Straight through the upper plate. Had no problem with that. The Hetzer's gun is outstanding. But you notice there, I had to crest that hill in order to kill that Sherman, and that's one of the issues with this thing. I was trying to explain. You have to expose your tank in order to get a shot on somebody. if I had been in a Sherman, American Sherman, after all, this is America, Germany, and Great Britain against Russia. But if I had been an American Sherman, I could have just approached that hill, shot over the hill, and been able to one-shot him. And I would have only had to expose my turret. Whereas in this thing, I had to expose the upper plate, the lower plate, basically the entire thing. So it's just something you have to take into account when you're using a vehicle like the Hetzer. Now, a few minutes later, I decide to head in this other direction after I hear some engagements with my squad mate. I'm not sure what it is, but as I approach him, it turns out that it's a T-34-85 who kills my squad mate. Or he's about to, anyway. Trying to find him, but there's just so many ridges on this map. It's difficult to locate him sometimes. Got some dead AI here. M18 is repairing, so I know he's engaged. 33-second repair. I'm coming, man. This thing is slow. And I'm contemplating either going up the hill or going around the side. Well, I don't have good gun depression in this thing, so I'm going to go around the side. Hopefully get his side. That was the hope. But as I come around the corner, the T-34 pops up out of nowhere. Try to get the shot on him, and I'm completely whiffed. He, on the other hand, almost completely destroys my tank. I'm replacing crew members, I'm repairing. Come on, there we go. I don't know what that T-34 tanker was even thinking. He didn't try to angle himself. He gave me an easy shot right into the shoulder of his tank. That was a terrible job on his part. But still, you saw what happens when you end up cresting a hill and exposing yourself. The armor on the Hetzer is not great, especially when you're facing something like the Soviet 85mm gun. It's devastating. It's got a lot of penetration power, but also it's filled with explosive filler. So it's a devastating round to get hit by. So a few minutes later, I decided to push up, join my squad mate in the cap, try to win this thing. Trying to find anything I shoot at, and there we go. T-34 on the hill, exposing himself. That was a very easy shot. No bushes on his tank, and when you put yourself up on the hill like that, it makes you stand up pretty clearly. And I don't know what my teammate was doing up on the ridge like that. That was just asking to be shot, and of course it was a ZSU that killed him. And here we go. I need to keep a low profile if I can, but I still need to be able to get my gun on this guy. So I decide to risk it a little bit and hope that he can't shoot me. And I get ammo rack. Very lucky. Again, I'm trying to get this cap going so that we can get this victory and move on to the next battle. So scan and use my binoculars again. Not see him. Oh, there we go. We got movement. Got a little potato truck on the right side flank. Mark him on the map. It's probably a little too far, actually. I think he's a little closer than that. But I'm hoping my teammate will go for him, and I can just sit here and get the cap and get the victory. Remember me talking about how thin the armor is on the Hetzer? Oh, this got completely shredded. Just completely shredded by two guys in the back of a potato truck. So, it's to the air we go. And we're using the trusty Dornier 217 E4. Got 4 1,000 kilogram bombs. I'm dropping 2 on a target that has been pinged on the map. And all I get is hits. Terrible. Just terrible. I think I overshot the bombs a little bit. They do have a delay on them, so I don't actually blow myself up. I ran into that problem earlier where you don't have a delay on there and you end up blowing off your wings or your tail section or something, and it's just a bad day at the game there. More guys are being marked. I know I need to get these guys so we can eventually move our tanks into A. Just got one here over here on the right side of A. I'll drop a bomb in front of him, hopefully, right in the A cap, and hope that he drives right into it. And he did. IS-1 is down. Nice. There's another vehicle there. Looks like a KV-2. Very big box. Pretty easy to spot a KV-2. High profile. Big boxy turret. It's going on the right side of the A. Going through A on the other side. The A label is actually blocking my view, so I basically guess where he is. Drop a bomb on him. And hope for the best. Pow! Nice. That's 2 tanks down. It took 4 bombs to kill 2 tanks, but what are you gonna do? For those of you who aren't familiar with the Dornier, the first 2 bombs drop at the same time because they're mounted on the exterior of the bomber. The last 2 bombs, they drop separately. They're on the interior of the bomber. So I was headed back to the base, gonna rearm and head back out, but I unfortunately get taken out by an I-185 who was on some sort of a suicide mission. He followed me all the way back to the airfield, and I think he got taken out by the AAA actually. So I respawned in another Jagdpanzer, the Model 4, and by the time I got to the action, it was over. We had capped the zone and won the battle. The Russians, they're not well suited for this particular map. Kuban, you really need a tank with a good gun depression, something American, British, German usually. That really helps. And guys, let me know what you thought of the resolution instead of ultra-wide. I hope you all enjoyed this video. If you did, hit that thumbs up button. And of course, if you're new to the channel, please subscribe. Take care, guys.